I
True.
think we can help with that. You guys love run a lovely professional space, and and there's a lot of people out there. We're connected really with the CNFT and the NFT communities.
ECC, Fireside chats
Hello, and thank you for joining our Fireside chats with founders at the European Cardano community. I am Marcus, one of the core team members, and if you like what we are doing, please consider supporting our individual projects. You will find the links to our guests and our projects below the video. Please give us a thumbs up, follow us by hitting the bell icon, and let's enjoy this session.
Chain every time. Today we have two fantastic guests that will introduce us to their project. So let's start with our meeting. Thank you very much. Usually we read the slides that you can see on the screen for making more confusion compared to the official one that it's shown in the official global Cardano town halls. But that usually creates even too much confusion. So we just show you the screen, please take a look, and then we skip it and go to the way. But we also have our own mantra with our nice points that Marcus wrote.
Yeah. Also, just have a quick look, and I invite you to read. But have as a little note on the side, the current node version is 10.13, no, 3.1. I'm just messing it up. Update or upgrade. I usually, as an SPO, have about 2 weeks that I let pass into the country before I do that, because then I'm pretty safe that there's nothing wrong in there.
Cool.
Happy to have you here. And,
thank you very much.
Getting started.
Yes. So, as one recap also of this, we are doing Twitter Space in many languages spoken in the European Union. We used to have also Spanish, Greek, Italian space that are now a little bit on hold, and trying to get my Italian crew back on this, but they always find excuses as good Italians. Anyway, we are doing another space regularly every second Sunday. The next one will be this Sunday, the Late Night Unicorn in English, so everyone can join. Thank you to Gav, that is the main host of the edition. And also there we promote new projects and speak about community building in the Cardano ecosystem. Also, we have regular German spaces, Marcus, right?
Yes, Gav, do you want to tell us who's going to be the next, your next guest on Sunday? Maybe that makes sense.
Yeah, we've got Diamond Hooves joining this Sunday, so that's going to be quite a good one. They've got their token launch going on. They're doing something very interesting with horses, so I think everyone will be keen to see how they're doing. And from a marketing point of view, yeah, they've had some really good projects turn up for their launch party yesterday, and they do some quite interesting stuff with NFTs to promote other projects as well. So from a marketing perspective, I think there'll be a lot that you can learn from the Diamond Hooves, and they're definitely people you should reach out to when you're trying to get into the Cardano communities. And we'll have a treasure hunt, so there'll be a chance to win 50 ADA by paying attention to the space. There'll be paid raids, so we'll be getting those going in the European Cardano community. So, yeah, lots of good reasons to turn up for late night unicorns.
So
exactly.
If you missed Catalyst funding, this is your chance to top it up.
Definitely.
Project.
Yeah. So yes, I'm very excited for the next edition because, as you say, there's a lot to learn for the next guest. And soon I also will launch another project, the next one. So I wish I can learn a lot about that, because marketing has always been a very, very bitter point and difficult to achieve by a single person. So let's see and have a chat on Sunday, guys.
I'm really grateful for Promo Facie being part of an extension part of our team to show us how to increase Twitter or X and Discord engagement. Really encourage you guys to get in touch with them. They're quite helpful. And Gavin seems to be a nice guy too. So that's a cool thing.
Yeah, never trust, always verify. But yeah, I think we can help with that. You guys love run a lovely professional space. And and there's a lot of people out there. We're connected really with the CNFT and the NFT communities. So we're trying to bridge two communities, and if they can all work in tandem and they're all talking to each other, we could make this a really beautiful ecosystem. So we're very grateful for what you guys do. And I think quite a lot of our people that are coming in from where our primary interests are going to be very interested in learning about the Catalyst proposal. And it certainly won't help to have lots of people becoming fans of the European Cardano community and lending their voting power in that way. So that'll be a good thing for all of us, and I think they can learn a lot.
That would be awesome. And
Yeah.
on the German side, we also have a few spaces currently running, mostly hosted together with Tim from IMX and Begin Wallet. So these talks are pretty cool too. They only last about 30 minutes, one Thursday in a month. So roughly every 4 weeks at 11:30 CET. So it's a real quick business brunch, and that's pretty cool too. We talk about everything, even outside Web3, like what banks do we like, what kind of partnerships you want to prefer as a founder. So that's pretty cool and pretty dense stuff. I enjoyed a lot, and hope you will do. You will do too. So there you go. Back to you, Davide.
Thank you, Marcus. So let's begin with our chat. Today we are wonderful guests, so we already mentioned, and we start with Gav. Gav, I took this image because Super Sunday is also very appropriate for our appointment for the late night
Yeah,
unicorns. But
yeah,
take it
definitely.
away. Tell us something more about Promo Facie for whoever
Yeah,
doesn't
well,
know you, and let's see how it goes. Today we have only two main guests, so I would say let's give some time each, and then we go back to the discussion. What do you think, Marcus?
Yeah, absolutely, because we don't want to leave Rudy behind.
Exactly.
Also a dear friend of our community.
Indeed, indeed, indeed.
I'm really glad you picked this image. Super Sunday was when we did two spaces back to back, one with the machinist who runs the When Mint podcast, and one with the guys from Angel Finance. That was a massive weekend. It was an awful lot of fun. And as you correctly say, with late night unicorns, every other Sunday is a Super Sunday. So, definitely don't be missing late night unicorns. Promo Facie, we're all about engagement. We've built a Discord bot that we call the Promo Engine. Discord bots are basically applications. A lot of people hear the word bot and think of malevolent, naughty things, but they're just applications that run in Discord. What our engine does, it allows you to connect to X direct from Discord and allows you to reward your community for being active on X and also to reward them for being active in Discord. We have buttons, so whenever a project that's using Promo Facie posts to their nominated X account, a raid gets automatically started on that post. Your community can then use one-click buttons to reply, repost, to like, and they immediately get a notification that they've earned points. They can use those points to climb up a leaderboard that's specific to each project, and the projects can choose whether they run a monthly or a weekly leaderboard. When the leaderboard resets, your users get credits and they get an activity role based on how they performed. And there's lots of different ways that we can give you to configure for people to use their credits on. At the moment, we have a slot, so you can use the reward slot. You can put various tokens into the slot and people can try and win them with the credits they got for engagement. We have a store where you can put tokens in the store and people can trade their credits directly for a token of their choice. This is a particularly good thing to do with meme coins that tend to run up quite quickly because you can get a small amount of meme coins, distribute them to your community, and if they go and 10, 20x, then your community is very happy with what they picked up for rewards. So, that's a great fun thing to do. We've done that with Bank and with Hosky, and everybody's very happy with the Bank and Hosky they were receiving. We're working on raffles at the moment, and there's a couple of other little things that we're working on that people will be able to do in Discord. We've built treasure hunts. Treasure hunts are a great tool for projects to use. We'll be doing a treasure hunt on Sunday. With a treasure hunt, the project can pick elements of the hunt. So, for example, Promo Facie Rocks 100% could be one element. Marcus could be another element. And once you've set the elements, people go and find them and then they use a slash command in Discord to input them. And when your community have found all of the elements of the hunt, then they're into the pool of winners that can win from the prize fund. We've done this because when you're live on a space, you need a reason to make sure that people attend the space or at least tune into the recording and give you a boost. So by having a discussion live on air and disclosing the words that are going to be elements of the treasure hunt, people really watch and pay attention. And that's really great for getting your message across, and obviously then they use them. The If I had a penny for every time I've been asked a question that I've addressed multiple times in an announcement, we wouldn't need to raise funds because I'd be very, very rich. People don't read announcements, they emote them. But with treasure hunts, you can ask questions based on your most recent announcement, and then the logic has changed. It's now not a load of words that people want to emote and not read. It's a source of potential information that they need to compete in the treasure hunt. So your community then reads it, and then if you've picked the answers quite strategically, they've then got to type those into Discord. And when you've looked for, read, and typed, you can be sure that that information is now firmly embedded. So that's really important for getting your branding across. So the tools we've built make Discord a whole lot of fun. Treasure hunts, there's limitless potential because you can do a space and ask questions on your project plus the project that you've got on the space with you. And then that means that both communities, if you both run a treasure hunt and you both ask questions on each other, you've got your community going across to the guest community and the guest community coming across to your community, and you're exchanging active users that are competing to win prizes. And the fact that they've had to retain information and type it in, they would definitely have learned something about both projects. And so, yeah, that's a really key thing that we've seen. And we know that people are tuning into the spaces for these. And within Cardano, the big challenge is to reach outside of the group that are paying attention to Cardano posts. And then when you reach outside, you've got to make it really fun for them to come inside the community, get involved, and raiding posts, getting points for being active in Discord, playing slots, using the store, getting involved in raffles. All of these things make it really fun to be involved in Cardano. And because we have partnered with the farm bots who have created a Discord wallet, all payouts for everything are instantaneous, and people don't even have to have a Cardano wallet. As long as they've got a Discord account, the tokens get credited to their Discord account, and then they can withdraw to a Cardano wallet. So you can pull in all these people that have nothing to do with Cardano. They can pick up some tokens, and then the conversation is, how do I get these out to a wallet? And now you've got people talking to you about how to be involved in Cardano. And we want to use this as a way for Cardano to grow and capture the big audience that's going to come in the bull run. So yeah, that's what Promo Facie is doing.
Wonderful. Amazing. Thank you, Gav.
That
So,
was really
Rudy,
cool.
tell us also about Fida Finance for whoever doesn't know you yet. And then we can have question and answers between you two guys, between the guests, and see what comes around.
Yeah, I was racing with how we could use Promo Facie ourselves. Lots of questions, and I guess I'll push it out to the community. But Fida Finance is the rebuilding of how insurance works on top of Cardano, on top of a secure and safe and scalable and efficient blockchain for these types of things. So we've already in Fund 11, we applied to get and successfully won the ability to deploy the smart contracts that are for the core of risk transfer and building in the infrastructure to do insurance on top of that. And we're currently on our way to the first MVP of the web application that sits on alongside that to just start doing these things of we want to onboard a life insurance company, and they're going to live on Cardano, and you're going to be able to apply for life insurance on Cardano, right? And you get that ability to do those instant payoffs of okay, so the mechanism gets eradicated on chain through Oracle provisioning of the event, and the insurance money goes to the designated wallet, right? Same for like climate parametric. If you have a farm, or anyways, we're enabling insurance companies to start working and living on Cardano themselves. That's what Fida is.
Amazing, very short and clear. Thank you very much, Rodolfo.
And
So you,
I can tell you, it works. The cool thing is about Promo Facie engine, you can implement it as a non-crypto um, support as well. So that one of the first things that got towards me was, uh, crypto is not necessary. It's a good helper. It's a good tool, right? And obviously the additional rewards are something that are very, very interesting to the engagement crews, as we call them, right? We're testing it for Larissa Health as well, and we're really happy. And the cool thing is you can actually what you get credits, right, and points. So it doesn't have to be crypto right away. And these ones you can collect them. Correct me if I'm wrong, Gavin, but you can collect them indefinitely. And then once you're ready to launch with your token, you can say, hey, you could exchange those credits for crypto for your token, which is the way that we do. Or if you have fiat, then you could say, hey, exchange those for fiat, whatever you like, right? You have to just implement the way to do this. And that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I
yes,
mean, we see like tons of potential. Yeah, we've been talking to a couple of people who have got businesses that are interested, and because our application runs in Discord, like I go out places and people say, "Have you got our reward card?" Well, there's no way I don't want to download your reward app and have to worry about whether the code is good or not, or whether it's going to drain my battery. And what am I going to have? Am I going to have like 100 different reward apps on my phone and I'm toggling through them all trying to remember? With us, like it works in Discord, so you could have like you just got to add another Discord server. You haven't got to download a new app every time. So with businesses, you can earn credits, you can exchange credits for roles. So you can buy roles with the credits. So if people want to level up and get higher roles for engagement, they can earn credits and then use them to buy roles. There's lots of gaming societies that can use that. For a restaurant, you get customers to engage with their social media and earn a role that entitles them to a discount off of a meal. There's plenty of ways in which we can see our engine being used. At the moment, we're on Cardano. Yeah, we want to expand out. I mean, the crypto side of it will work just as well on Polygon and VeChain because the farm bots are already connected to those chains. So we will be going to Polygon and VeChain after Cardano, but we created Promo Facie because we're big fans of Cardano and we've been in CNFT since it started. So we want to see Cardano thrive. So whatever we do in the real world, all routes will lead back to Cardano. And I've got to say, Fida Finance, I am super excited because listening to Charles's whiteboard talks, one of the earliest things that he tantalized us with was the idea that with insurance, you could have insurance tied to oracles where you don't have to have one of those insurance people come out and try and find all of the sub clauses why you can't claim. You've got a clear if this, then that scenario, which I think is going to be really beneficial, especially on the blockchain. That sounds really
Definitely.
exciting.
We like last fund, we even partnered with Charlie 3, an Oracle provider on Cardano, I guess the first one even, to provide earthquake insurance for people in Argentina through Cardano, right? With a leading insurance provider, with Howden Insurance. That was a huge deal. Unfortunately, we didn't get funded, but we're also still pursuing that avenue. So that's exactly what we're doing. That ability, as you said, to just automatically get the payout working. I mean, think of yourself as someone who was affected by, well, let's say the fires in in Los Angeles, right? You're immediately left homeless, right? And the time that it takes between the event happening and your claim being settled is crucial. I mean, 2 months down the line, at that point, you've already been sleeping somewhere. You've figured that out. You've had to do it, right? You've had to get most everything that you lost, and the help that the insurance could have given you is very much um, affected, right? It's reduced because of the time that it took. It's not the same thing as the fire happens and in a day, right? Everything's confirmed and you have money to like sleep somewhere. Um, so this is huge, a huge change in how things work on top of a blockchain.
Yeah, also
Absolutely.
it helps a lot adoption because it brings real use cases to the blockchain world. That still it's yeah, the real utility of the blockchain is still something that we need to prove and need to show to the great public, in my opinion.
Yeah,
So
the biggest backlash that I've always heard is that it's too expensive. Like if you use just a regular database, it just costs literally nothing. But when you use blockchain, you always have to pay the transaction fees. And right now, in today's SPO call, they've been talking about lowering the transactions. So it's on the roadmap. It's but there are a few security implications that they still need to solve. But it's on the roadmap, and yeah, I
yeah,
think you
Well,
always need to have a balanced
let's
view between blockchain and the regular database.
yeah. But
yeah,
also
but
layer twos like Midgard can help a lot in that.
let's actually use what just happened here in Europe. What was it, yesterday, day before yesterday, that the
In Spain.
whole, or yeah, in Spain, right? The whole electrical grid collapsed, right? And it took down Portugal with it. So the whole point of a blockchain is that for essential and critical things, the the overhead of having a decentralized distributed network for things to work is well worth it. It's like it's an obvious choice. So you don't get this problem where a failure in the database just cascades. Like us in the internet with AWS, every time that there's an outage on Amazon Web Services, half the internet goes down, right? Half the applications we normally use go down, and that's ridiculous. We should be building more robust systems at this point. So that's my counter to the argument of databases are faster and cheaper. It's like, well, yes, but they're unreliable.
So is a
Not
Tesla.
when your life's on
Sorry,
the
I didn't
line.
say that.
Hmm?
So is a Tesla. I didn't want to say that.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's exactly. So yeah, you could do something in a database as a testnet before you go to the real world, right? Before you go and say, well, this is a tank, right? You really can't bring it down.
That's a
So
good point.
where would the transaction fees take place? Is it at the point where you have a smart contract created and then when you cash in, where would the fees be taking place?
I'm guessing that's a question to me, and I'm thinking about it
Yeah.
for a blockchain in general. Whenever you need to demo the event, so there's a fee for storing this fact, this truth point of I gave you $10, or in the case of let's say our case, Fida, right? That the Oracle proves and I store the fact that there was an earthquake in Mendoza that was 7.3, and you see on that transaction, on that point that you paid, you see all the details you need to confirm it, that it was these 5 servers that identified it coming from these points of truth. And if you trust these 5 servers, then you can follow the chain from there and say, well, now I'm gonna pay again to store the fact that I paid Peter for his indemnification of his house. So what you're paying is to assert something as true.
That makes sense.
And maybe you want to also talk about the NFT concept so that people get an idea. I think, do you still mint those NFTs or are they closed now?
The Founders Edition,
Yes,
they're closed.
they're closed.
So we minted 60 founder NFTs, and they have multiple utility points, but they will be really, really sought after by the insurers. So once you start an insurance company on top of Fida, the fact that you hold an NFT is going to be a clear signal that you're backing the the project, right? That you've been with us for a while, and it's a signal of trust, as well as it gives you discounts for applying for for placing your policies on the system, etc. On the investor side, which I haven't really discussed the how everything works, but that's way too long. But on the investor side, you also get discounts and boosts from the fees that are shared from the platform working. So it's there's 60 essentially there's 60 NFTs out there, and it's going to be really interesting to see how this dynamic plays out.
Very, very cool. So you made how do you say that? A treat out of a difficult market.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be super interesting. The right now the main we're actually still promoting and proving the value by the partnerships we make is often by exchanging, and we're not going to be able to exchange them anymore, but we're able to do airdrops of partner tokens for things like with walkers. um there's a possibility of reusing the walkers app once we bring in a health insurance provider. Then you're like walking your steps and everything's on the blockchain that you're doing this exercise, and it applies to discounts on health providers. So these are like the real world scenarios that we're trying to work at, or to encourage others to come along and build these features around our platform.
Yeah, I find it a very strong step to say, okay, this is a hard cap. It's the same thing that Promo Facie did. They also had a hard cap and said, okay, this is exactly the limit until we support early founders. And then there's a cutoff. It's a clear cutoff. I think at Promo Facie you still can mint, I think, right? If I remember right, but you just have you don't get like a assured extra founder ticket or so, right?
Yeah. So we have our token pass NFTs, and anyone can mint those. We had an OG phase where people got a specific deal for minting as OGs, and we've now moved out of the OG phase. The token pass NFTs are going to be the only way to receive our promo token. So everyone who's got a Promo Facie token pass is going to get an airdrop of our token. And we're setting out to raise 400,000. we want to build games as well as the promo engine and the promo platform. So I don't want to go like too far into it because it seems a bit mind-bending, but we originally started with Promo Facie thinking about how do you get people into a crypto game, because we had some experience in crypto gaming. And if your game's got crypto in it, gamers will turn up and say they don't want to deal with it because it's got crypto in it. And if you go to crypto people and say, would you like to play our game? They're going to say, well, how do I make money out of it? And if I can't make money out of it, I'm not interested in it. So both angles that you're coming to are not interested in your game. So we came up with the idea, and like the promo engine was actually like a byproduct of what we were intending to do, but it's kind of morphed and become like a huge product in itself. And so the idea was get the promo engine, put it out there at a very agreeable rate for people. Like if you want to get the promo engine now, you can still get it for $10 a month. It'll go up to $15 a month once we reach 100 customers. And the idea was we're building this network, and then we'll be able to allow projects to build custom wearables. So when you've got a game, and you can allow projects to play against each other and kill each other. So, like let's say you've got the European Cardano community versus Promo Facie, just being able to clip that, like your community having fun with another community with your branded logos on show, that's content, in itself. That's fun. That's a reason. And if people were coming to take part in tournaments and league tables and playing for the honor of their project, their community, then they're likely to be training and doing practice. And as long as we don't make fiat, as long as we allow fiat to be an option to get into it, what you would find is you'd have gamers coming in because they see people playing it. They could, buy what they need to play using their credit card, but they would also see that there were these private tournaments and there were these private events and there were these custom wearables and custom items that they couldn't get access to unless they had these credits or these tokens. And then at that point, they would go out into the partner projects to earn like credits by being active in Discord and on X, which would boost everybody's profiles. And they would then see the tokens and the credits that they're earning as an equivalent to like a FIFA coin or a V-Buck for Fortnite. And so you'd have a utility case for the tokens that are using us. So that's where we started with the promo engine, but we're doing a lot of development on the promo engine. It's proved pretty popular, and we see that we need to really push the promo engine as far as it can go. Once we've reached 400k with our mint funds, then we're going to close the mint. And there's a couple of ways we could get there. We could sell a certain number of NFTs, or Cardano could start rising. And in reality, what will happen is we will keep expanding and getting into more and more projects and partnering with more and more people. And then as Cardano rises, it creates a window that the amount of NFTs we've got to sell closes. And we've allocated 20 million tokens to the airdrop. So the less NFTs we sell to achieve our goal, the more tokens people get by buying a token pass. So right now, our community is pretty active. They use the token passes to get access to games and rewards in our server. And yeah, the mint's chugging along nicely. And the more we develop and put things out there, the more people will pay attention to us and want to get involved in our mint. That's our logic. Our whole goal from the get-go was we didn't really want to do a whole FOMO thing. We wanted it to be really relaxed and only have people buy our NFTs if they like the project and like the tech. No promises of quick returns or anything like that.
Very cool. Is that something you could imagine as well, Rudy, to add a second layer of NFT, basically a little bit below the founder's NFT? And I know that you have to leave in a few minutes, but maybe we can get this little how you call that? Not Easter egg, alpha.
Yeah, so no, there is we aren't planning a like you say, like a lower tier at the moment. We do have uh, a token that we're wrapping up the tokenomics on and preparing it to actually decentralize insurance, which is part of our mission statement. And that is like the two phase. Maybe if demand really pops up and like we're getting the situation where we have a high profile, or we have a series of roles or investors that, I don't want to say investors. The key word is like participants. And we have a clear purpose, a clear use for the token, then definitely we would mint it, right? As a representation of what these people started doing. But for now, those 60 OGs are it.
Cool. Awesome.
Sorry, Rudy, were you saying that like an insurance company that wanted to use your services would need one of these OG NFTs?
They do not need one, but they will want one, because they will want the discounts and they will want the signal it provides on the platform. So it means you get listed first. It means you get this nice wrapper around your icon. And if you're trying to raise the collateral for your policies, you're just that much more likely to get the money first.
Do you see any potential to do like a jelly cubes and fractionalize those?
You mean the 60 OGs?
Yeah, like in the future, will you have like a utility where people can buy some of the token, use the token, and then fractionalize their founder NFT?
That I had not thought of that. That's an interesting idea. That would be cool. That's a
I
cool
mean,
idea.
I'm assuming Cardano is going to absolutely blow up and be like the hottest thing in crypto. I mean, especially if the Bitcoin DeFi on Cardano starts really taking off. Like Cardano could be a really hot place to do business. So, in the future, when everything goes on the chain, you could have like an awful lot of companies coming to you trying to get hold of those founders NFTs. It's just more benefit for your current holders
Oh,
if they had an option to pay some tokens to split it, so 60 became 120 and pay again, and then your 120 becomes 240. So you're taking tokens out of circulation, increasing supply, and it's the holders that are benefiting.
that would be super interesting. Each one is currently unique, and the things they provide are peculiar. But that might be a way. That might be a very, very interesting way to handle the situation. Yeah, because there are more than 60 insurance companies in the world. That is for sure.
Well,
I
do feel free to tell us all first before you tell everybody else so that we can make use of the alpha and go and start sweeping.
could do
Will
that.
do, guys. I really have to go. It has been a huge pleasure. Um, nice meeting you, Gav, and always a pleasure, Marcus and Davide. So,
This
yep,
is it.
I'll see you around.
Thank you.
Rudy,
Thank you much for your
Bye,
time.
Rudy.
if you
Cheers.
Lovely to meet you.
want to share the alpha with Gavin, I suggest you do that in private on Sunday. Okay, he's gone.
I'm sorry.
Cool.
Yeah, you told us.
Awesome. Gavin, thank you so much. That was a pleasure as always. And everybody who's watching this, if you are interested in Promo Facie or what we do, we are always open to connect. We're always to help you on board on what we do. And join our spaces. Next one is this Sunday, and
Yeah.
we will be cut quickly.
Alpha's 9, yes. Thank you so much for joining us. See you in
Thank you
2
everyone
weeks.
for watching. See you guys soon. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.